So 2022 promises to be an exciting year for Lexus India, and talking to me about Lexus's plans is Naveen Soni, the
Hi.
recently appointed president of Lexus India.
Hi.
Naveen, thanks for talking to us.
Always a pleasure.
This is your inaugural
Yes,
or your the first big launch of 2022.
absolutely.
So just want to just talk about the overall luxury market and Lexus's position in that. To be honest, you've been a bit of a niche player. Are there plans to kind of become more mainstream? And obviously the NX, it's a volume product for you all to a certain extent. So just what's 2022 looking like, especially now on the back of the NX launch?
Yeah. So thank you, Ormas. It's always a pleasure. Uh, when at the beginning of this year, when I was given this responsibility to become Lexus India in charge, I was looking at what is the current brand and where is it and how do we want to shape it for the future. It is very fortunate that we have such a privileged position in the market where the product is doing extremely well in terms of the design capabilities, craftsmanship, etc., etc. And there's only one way that we can look for, upwards. So without compromising anything on the brand per se, the brand is so strong. People who buy this car always are looking at something that they have purchased in overseas markets, or they like something about Japanese craftsmanship. So these are factors that bring people to the brand. What is adding and complementing this situation is that post pandemic, people are coming out in numbers, and especially at the high end of the market, which is India's case is very unique. 1% of the population controlling 73% of the India nation's wealth, which is as compared to other countries like 50% of the nation's wealth. So this becomes a very important thing, that this segment, which is very limited, is now today willing to spend, willing to experiment, willing to go out and check out new things that are available in the market. At this point of time, we are introducing new products. We are also getting redefinition for what we stand for. We have been, yes, you're right to say that we have been a niche player, but there has been a brand journey. What is the brand journey? It took first few years to seed the brand, which I think we were very successful. After that, we established a few guest experience centers. These are experience centers that actually the guest can come, and we often say we don't sell cars, we sell experiences. So when the guest comes to the guest experience center, he actually is taken care of in a manner as if he is a guest in my house. That's the basic philosophy. With that, what we have seen is that the word of mouth, the expansion of this has started to happen, and from that point of view, this is only grown from where it was. So what has happened is that after the pandemic, people are coming out in huge numbers. They're willing to experiment. They're willing to try out new things. This is adding to what we like to call as the YOLO effect. You only live once. Okay. In Hindi, we say "Zindagi na mile dobara." These set of customers want a new experience, which I think the brand can offer. They have seen this brand somewhere in the global context, and they are now coming out in huge numbers, and that's a big advantage to what we want to stand for. We want to provide them a unique experience. We want to provide them new cars. We want to provide them latest technology. And this is why we think that there's going to be a bright future ahead for Lexus.
But Naveen, to be honest, you're coming out with new models, but again, you've launched the NX, and it seems to be you're sold out already. So allocation very limited, supply still very limited. How do you grow in such a circumstance? Because the sense is there's just not enough cars, to kind of support the demand.
Yes. I was coming to that. The demand side is very robust. It's only the supply side that we have some challenges, and this is not unique to Lexus alone. This is true for the entire car market, basically because of the semiconductor crisis that is taking shape. But I personally feel that we have seen the worst in the semiconductor conductor crisis. Even in this situation, that what you mentioned, that we are sold out for next 6 months minimum, we are now talking to our head office because they have a huge production capability. So India may be asking for a fair share of that capability because we, I think, have done what we had to do in terms of getting out to the customer. And the customer has been so, how should I say, comfortable with the brand that he has actually placed his request before even we announce the price. So whatever inquiries and orders that have been registered are before we even announce the price. So that shows the confidence, and this is what we go back to our head office and say, that if this is the market condition, we need a better support.
Right.
And hopefully we'll get
But
one.
I just want to press you on this. Coming to India,
Yeah.
is it the fact that margins aren't as much as in India? India also is just maybe 1% of the market. So in terms of priority, we're not, let's say, up there with, let's say, a North America.
I don't even want to compare myself with North America because that's a different market. It has a different legacy. We just be completing 5 years by the end of this month or something. Of that, 2.5 years have gone into COVID. So practically, we are just off the tracks. So given this situation, I think there is a bright future ahead of us. If we can show the potential, what would the head office look at is the potential of the market. And I think India promises to be one of the biggest markets in the times to come. If you're looking at GDP per capita, if you're looking at the automobile market, if you're looking at any other indices, India promises to be right up there. And from that point of view, I think, let me tell you this, they have shown confidence on us. Because not only this car, but the previous car, the ES, they allowed us to make it here in India.
That leads me to the NX. Is there a potential that could be your second CKD model?
See, we have to deliver what we have to deliver. Okay, there is a benefit of localization from a duty point of view. Yes, if we make it in India, there's going to be better duty structures waiting for us.
But you need the basic volume.
But the volume, if I don't have, my vendors will charge me a price. So that gets offset. So unless I have reasonable volumes, this duty benefit does not go to the consumer.
And when do you expect to have those reasonable volumes?
As early as possible.
Could we see it this year or next year? I mean, with the semiconductor.
We are, if this semiconductor crisis was not there, we would have shown the true potential of the market. Because, when we make a declaration that it's 6 months waiting, it's not good for the customer. We feel very guilty that we are not able to supply the car as he wants it, when he wants it. He's shown the confidence even without knowing the price. So it's my responsibility to give him the car as early as I can. So this is the point that we are trying to convince our head office that please give us the car, test out this market potential, and then we should look at a brighter future.
Right. And just looking at the Lexus customer, to be honest, again, very niche, mainstream German brands are also there. How do you draw them away from, let's say, what the mainstream is right now? And is it also the promise of reliability and service which goes back to the parent company as well? Is this one of the biggest draws?
Yes, I think it is. There is, to each segment, India is such a large market, and even the luxury car market, though it's very small, can be fragmented or segmented in a manner that, that there will be certain sets of customers with different sets of priorities. So who comes to us, he's seen the vehicle overseas, he likes Japanese craftsmanship. Definitely that's one big thing that he prefers, because the engineering skills are a set of engineering skills that we see from Japan. The craftsmanship, the kind of design elements, I think they are very unique. But you have to have a flavor for that. So given that, then these customers get naturally attracted to us. And also from a point of view that, you mentioned the mother brand. So from there also there is upgrade happening into Lexus. 81% of the customers who drive a Lexus, we have seen already have a Toyota at home.
Naveen, also on the hybrid story, are all Lexuses going to be hybrids in India, or will you at some point launch just a pure petrol Lexus at all?
Well, 97% of the products that we sell in India are hybrids, self-charging hybrid electric vehicles. And we are very proud of this fact that, we have a very sustainable range which actually looks at the market condition, the customer acceptance, and therefore positions this. When we were asking questions to our consumers who have actually purchased the Lexus, it has been steadily growing. And today, the highest reason given for purchase of Lexus is because it has a self-charging hybrid electric vehicle. So I think the consumers have realized that this is a very sustainable wave of mobility, and therefore they have come to us again and again. Having said that, why not petrol only? You are talking about petrol. We are even testing the battery electric vehicle in Lexus stable.
Yeah.
And we are trying out the customer acceptance of the same from a consumer point of view, what they expect from the car. So currently there are vehicles which we are showing it to our consumers, asking them opinions of what should be their ideal battery electric expectations.
Right. So yeah, you've shown the UX, we've driven
Yes.
it also.
Yes.
But can we see the launch of it, or is it still under evaluation right now?
So at this stage, before launch of a car, we like to study and understand, because see, India has many unique situations. Not only the customer taste and preferences, I'm talking about the weather conditions, the dust conditions. So battery conditions and the range and with which it will operate depends a lot on such factors. So we are currently doing the product. More than the product, we are doing the market evaluation, the customer acceptance.
Even the pricing could be an issue.
Even what is the expected price? Even what is the expected price if we were to bring that in the country? What is the kind of usage that they'll put this to? Which will be the first car, second car, third car in the house? What will be the kind of usage patterns? What will be the kind of who will use it in the house, etc., etc. All these questions are up in the air. So we like to find answers to them so that we can present the most confident product, because Lexus International has announced last December that it will go 100% electric by 2035. So there are various products in the pipeline. When we had the NX launch, we announced nearly 10 or 20 products, if not mistaken, by 2025. That's global Lexus. So that is their intention. So we need to be getting ready for that. Towards that, UX is the first step.
Right. So there's a possibility it could be launched as a first step just to test the market.
Could be. We also have the same in the HEV version.
Right.
We also have the UX in the HEV version. So like to evaluate vis-a-vis customer expectations, which product, what price, what type of usage, etc., etc.
Right. And last question, Naveen, you all don't share your numbers, but can you share anything in terms of percentage? What is the growth you're looking at? And in terms of the network, are you planning to expand? As you said, there's a YOLO effect.
Yep.
People are buying, luxury products, or is this, let's say the semiconductor issue goes, what sort of growth are you looking at?
Yeah, sure. I'll give you two statistics, which will be very interesting. Last quarter, 37% of my sale came from just one quarter. Of course, you can blame it on COVID, that half of the year was gone into COVID. But as soon as we came out of COVID, there's a huge numbers that came in. And this year, by March, if everything goes well, we would do the same business as we have done in the whole of last year, which means that in 3 months, we are practically covering 12 months of business. Of course, it's not a like-to-like comparison, but having said that, there is still a very positive push in the market, and we like to capitalize this.
Well, on that note,
Thank you.
positive note, wish you all the best.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for talking.
Thank
to
you.
us.
Thank you. Thank you.